My name is Mike Sadler, and I've spent my life with cars. Whether it's sand dunes and drag strips, museums, car shows, even the backyard garage, I'm always on the lookout for speed and shine. Hey, welcome back to Speed and Shine. Have you ever thought about buying a classic car? Don't know where to start? Do you search the interweb? Do you go to an auction? Do you buy it from your uncle? Stay away from your uncle. Well, we have an answer for you, and that's the Grand Rapids Auto Gallery. And we talked to Chris, and he shows us hundreds of examples of classic cars that you can purchase. But first, we all know that Flint is rich in automotive history, like the Buick plant. And there's no finer place to view this history than the Sloan Museum of Discovery. Check it out. Welcome back to Speed and Shine. We're in Flint, Michigan today at the Sloan Museum of Discovery. I'm here with Erica Travis, and this is a beautiful facility.
Thank you so much. We underwent a renovation starting in June of 2019 of our facility. Prior to that, the building had been open since 1966. November of 1966 is when we opened to the public. At the time, we were known as the Sloan Panorama of Transportation, obviously named after the longtime president and chairman of the board of General Motors, Alfred Sloan Jr.
Oh, okay. And this is part of a larger campus. Is that all connected?
Yes, so more or less. We're located at the heart of the Cultural Center campus, just east of downtown Flint. And on our campus, we have a variety of institutions. We have a planetarium, which we are associated with as our organization, as well as a performing arts theater, a fine arts museum, children's theater, and so on. Those were always part of the plan for this facility. From my research, there was always there was an interest in building a museum devoted to the progress of Flint as early as the mid-1930s. But it wasn't until a couple decades later that there was some real targeted planning, and they secured the funds for those original 7 institutions in 1952.
Well, you've done an amazing job. When I was walking around looking at some of the exhibits and talking to other people visiting, they just love it.
Yeah, no, it's really been a really great transformation for us. Starting out, it was meant to be a transportation museum and have a local history museum, but they determined it would be cost prohibitive to build 2 facilities. They sort of joined those 2 themes in one. And when you think about the history of Flint, it kind of makes sense that we're sort of interconnected with the auto industry and General Motors specifically. So it's worked out for us, and basically ever since the 1960s, we've been displaying and collecting automobiles as well as just objects of everyday life that help to document life in this area. But with our big renovation here in the last couple of years, we have added some exhibition space. So we've added an early childhood gallery and a lot of hands-on interactives in science and physical and earth science. So really it's now a space for the whole family. And one of my favorite things in this automotive gallery is that we have sort of brought in those everyday objects to help provide a little bit more context. So if you're not necessarily a big car buff, there's something in here for you too.
Yeah. Well, we are a big car buff, so can we go get some of these cars?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
Erica, this is a very significant car in automotive design, isn't it?
It is. It's actually one of my favorites. And one of the things we wanted to do in this gallery was not just show our greatest hits or what's the most aesthetically pleasing, although there's a lot of crowd pleasers in here too. Right. We wanted to look at how technology really impacted how vehicles get us to and fro faster, cleaner, more safely and more comfortably. But even though this is one of my most favorites to look at, it has a couple features that make it pretty unsafe. It's got the wraparound windshield with only, the sheet metal pillars on the sides, the unpadded interiors, and originally it had a cone-shaped sort of cap at the center of the steering wheel that I have heard described as a sternum crusher. But that didn't really seem to matter. People really loved this vehicle. Over 185,000 units were produced. I kind of get why. There's some really beautiful jet age styling motifs here, including the hood ornament and all the chrome. And I think that was just speaking to the zeitgeist of the period, what people were really loving aesthetically.
And at most car shows, these are the cars that people are looking to see.
They really do. They love, these sort of like candy colored ones. And this vehicle came in 14 solid color options and 23 two-tone color combinations. So it really allowed the buyer to individualize it to their taste. Ours is in gypsy red and shoreline beige.
All right. So what should we look at next?
I think sort of like in keeping with this like space age, jet age design, we should really look at the Centurion.
All right. Erica, this car is mesmerizing. You're very lucky to have this. What is it?
We are exceptionally lucky. We actually have a handful of concept cars in our collection, which we feel really blessed to have, including this one. This is the 1956 Buick Centurion. It was the Motorama show car for Buick that year. And in keeping with the topic of sort of jet or space age design, it's really easy to see here. I'm sure when you take a look around, you'll see sort of like these wing ends. Obviously this bubble top, it's hard not to think of the Jetsons. And there's really a lot of wonderful elements here that borrow a little bit from aviation design, including sort of this aircraft style steering yoke instead of a traditional steering column. And I think amongst our staff, one of our favorite things is that it actually had a backup camera installed originally. There was a small television camera installed above the rear cone, and it would have projected the image to the small screen on the dash, which, now it's a pretty common, almost standard feature for all of us, but it's pretty crazy to think that this was, 1950s, and they were already thinking about that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was really surprised when I went around the back and I saw that. And for most bubble cars, they look a little confining and no way for ventilation. This has roll down windows and it's a little taller.
It does, and it feels really open, and I think part of that is also due to the fact that it has no rear view mirrors. It has nothing to obscure your sort of 360-degree view around the vehicle. And it's crazy to think that something like this never went to production. I think it would have been pretty wild to see it on the roads.
It would. It makes me want to get better at body restoration and stuff, so I can build my own to look like that. It is a beautiful car. Erica, when we were coming over here, I didn't know if you were talking about the Corvette or the Chevette.
I know, they're easily interchanged.
Right.
No, we're here to talk about a real American sports car,
All right.
the 1953 Corvette.
Right. And this one's on loan, or is this part of the regular exhibit?
This is part of the permanent collection of Sloan Museum. We actually have a little bit over 100 vehicles in the collection, and that really ranges from anything from road carts to carriages, use wagons, sleds, sleighs, and even a tank destroyer. So, there's lots to see if you come visit us. But the 1953 Corvette is definitely a point of pride for us in our collection. We only acquired it in 2016 through the help of some anonymous donations, our Friends organization, the Friends of Sloan Longway, and our Summer Auto Fair Committee, who's been working with us since the 1970s to help source vehicles that are significant to Flint history. And this one definitely is one. As many people probably know, the first 300 Corvettes were built here, hand-built on a sort of makeshift old truck plant line in Flint. And this is number 112 out of the 300,
wow,
which is really exciting. It's a real prime example of a 1953 Corvette with the polo white exterior and the sportsman red the display car for that year, and all of those first 1953 Corvettes were in this color scheme. So, and it's in great condition, so we're very glad to have it.
So the 53 Corvette was the start of it all.
It really was, and it was, basically Chevrolet's answer or response to this growing interest in sports cars. But it didn't have all the power that I think people really wanted. It had a pretty high price tag for the time, but it's still really well loved. But it's an interesting comparison to what we're going to talk about next. This is really, basically making something that's comparable or similar to what you're going to find from, a Porsche, Jag, all these foreign imports. And I think the next one that we're going to talk about is going to be a little bit different.
All right, let's go look at that.
Let's do that.
This is a really famous car.
It's a really beautiful car. It's one of our prized possessions for sure. And how we were talking about how, with the Corvette, that's really, us just trying to sort of compete or stay, on the same level as a European manufacturer. This is really, a U.S. maker trying to make a uniquely and decidedly American style sports car. And it's really lovely. It's got a couple really wonderful retro elements to it that I really like. It's got the floating headlamps and sort of those open wheels with the chrome spokes that are sort of reminiscent from, say, a Roadster of a couple decades prior.
Right, it's got like a chrome or stainless insert behind the wheel too. Now this was designed by Harley Earl.
I believe so, yes.
Right, and it sort of looks like a Corvette, but not like a Corvette.
If you look at the tail end of it, it really has a very similar lines to the Corvette, but the front end is something totally different. And here we have Buick's distinctive portholes. I mean, these ones are sort of purely decorative, but it's become synonymous with Buick design, in the decades after.
It's an amazing car to have in your collection.
It really is. This one was a gift from Buick Motor Division. Most of our concept cars have actually come directly from the various departments that, either the design department or, powertrain. So we were really lucky to be the recipients of these really prized possessions.
So what should we look at next?
I think we have to finish with a Corvette, another Corvette.
All right. This is a significant car.
It is. And it's one that sort of encompasses a lot of what we try to do here. I think sometimes there's a perception that automotive collections are collected either just because they're desirable or they're valuable or they're pretty to look at. But one of the things we're trying to do, because the size of our collection is already pretty large, we're trying to be really thoughtful about what we bring into the collection. And for us, we sort of prioritize almost a strong history or connection to our community. And luckily for us, in this one, we kind of get everything. It's really striking with the tuxedo black and the red interior and the split window. And we received it only a couple years ago, actually. The man who originally owned it, very similar story. I think a lot of people can really relate to. Grew up in this area, climbed through the ranks at GM, retired after 45 years of service, which you don't hear anymore.
Right.
And bought and cherished his dream car.
Wow.
So our 1963 split window Corvette.
Amazing collection you have here, and there must be a lot of effort that goes into keeping them clean. And do you run them on a regular basis? Do you have a mechanic look at them? How do you?
We used to have an automotive technician. We're looking and trying to bring something like that back. As you know, it takes a lot of time, resources to keep up a collection like this, even just in static condition. We are looking at in the next couple of years of trying to get and keep a couple of them operational. Just a couple of years ago, there were some that had recently run, so we think that can be done somewhat easily. And the hope is that we'll be able to sort of have a running vehicle collection, and we'll be happy to see that happen, because I know part of the allure is hearing them startup, seeing them drive, although we won't be joyriding around the neighborhood. For that, we do have a not collection Wildcat, a 66 Wildcat that we drive Santa in. So
that's fun.
That's our play car.
So what are the hours for our viewers if they want to come out?
Sure, we'd love to see you. We are here Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sundays, noon to 5. And you know, it's a really great place for the whole family. There's a little bit of everything for everyone, and our space is so much more accessible now for different mobilities and things like that. So you can certainly buy tickets online, you can drop in, you can even call ahead and make a reservation, buy your tickets ahead of time. We're at www.sloanlongway.org. Okay. But if you're coming for a traveling exhibit or a special event, definitely we recommend advanced purchase of your tickets.
All right. Well, thank you for your hospitality today and taking the time to tell us about your great cars here on display.
Thank you so much, Mike.
When Hannah makes a claim with America's Preferred Home Warranty, she's able to choose her own licensed contractor for the repairs. But why does that matter? Let's see how it benefits you. First of all, you can choose a licensed contractor you know, or someone who comes highly recommended. Also, you can choose someone available on your schedule. After all, if a repair is urgent, you don't want to be waiting for the warranty company to send someone. You want it done fast. When you choose, you're in control. Your claim is determined using an independent assessment from your licensed contractor. And you can apply your claim payment to the parts and equipment that work best for your needs and budget. Finally, Hannah loves that choosing her own licensed contractor keeps money in her local community, which is a win for everyone. Just remember to always reach out to APHW before starting repairs. It's good to have a choice, and choosing your own licensed contractor with America's Preferred Home Warranty gives you the flexibility and control you deserve.
Hey, welcome to Speed and Shine. If you've ever wondered about owning a classic car, this is the episode to watch. I'm here with Chris Hoaxum with Grand Rapids Auto Gallery.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Nice to meet you. It is great to be here, and wow, you have just a cornucopia of awesome rides in here.
We do. We're super excited about it. We've been in business for a little over 11 years. We've got 4 locations, 3 in Michigan and 1 down in Indianapolis. So we get a crazy amount of cars in on consignment. That's definitely our specialty. And we get everything from pre-war stuff all the way up to, you know, a brand new Mercedes or Porsche or a Lexus. So it's always fun. We never know exactly what's going to show up any given day, but it's always fun to be part of it.
Yeah, when I was looking online, just doing a little research last night, it looks like you have from fire trucks to Ferraris.
That's very true.
And that's awesome. And I have some experience working with you. A couple years ago, I was helping a car collector who had purchased some cars through Barrett Jackson auction. It wasn't a very good experience for him. He had a lot of work done in the cars, and he decided to make a change. And we did some research, and you were highly recommended, and we called you, and you made it really easy. You came and picked up the vehicles, you got them prepared, and they sold really quickly.
Yeah, that's our specialty. We like to say we're kind of one-stop shop for people that just don't want to mess with selling their car. You know, the classic car business is so exciting, and the best part about it from our customers is the hunt. People love to find the car. They love to search out, you know, color options, setup that they're looking for, and that's the exciting part. And then obviously owning it is really exciting. But then when it comes time to either trade up or move on to something different, a lot of people struggle with that, either the emotional attachment they don't want to deal with, or just the fact they just don't have the confidence to sell their car and get top dollar for it. And that's what our specialty is. We can get our clients a premium for their vehicle over and above what they would get, you know, selling it for themselves on any other given channel. And you know, we take 100+ photos, we take videos of the vehicle, and we market it on 50 plus high traffic websites. Our own website right now is getting close to 1 million plus views each month, and gets a tremendous amount of traffic. We've got over 20,000 people that follow us on a weekly newsletter. So we've established ourselves as one of the best spots to bring your car to sell it.
Yeah, and it shows. When someone wants to, let's start with selling vehicles. So when someone wants to sell it, they reach out to you, and how does the process work?
Yeah, we've got a very simple process. We can do it all online with the client, remotely, or if they want to come in, which is ideal. At the time, we have a consignment agreement that we fill out, getting some background information from the car. Some people know a lot about their vehicle, or some people, like your buddy, bought it at Barrett Jackson and it looked cool at the time, and had a couple beers in me. It sounded great. Let's buy this. So we get a little mixed avenue of information from our clients, but we try to get as much information. We do an inspection on the vehicle, and then we get a $295 fee up front to market your car for 120 days. And from there, what we do is take, again, the 100 plus photos. We take several videos of the vehicle. We test drive the vehicle and then market it on all the websites. And I've got dedicated salespeople. Currently, we have 8 salespeople through our 4 locations. That's their only job, is to sell your car. So they're not worrying about anything else other than selling your car. They follow up with leads 24/7, and we've been very successful with placing cars. We placed 1,200 cars last year, and we're knocking on about 14,000 cars since being in business.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. The salespeople that I worked with selling my buddy's cars, they were awesome. They really worked to get the best price they could, right? They made it seem really easy.
Correct.
So if someone wants to purchase a car, how does that usually start? Do they look at it online, and then where do they go from there?
Yeah, about 92% of our cars are sold online, sight unseen. Obviously with the technology of today's business and the wonderful internet, we have the ability to get that information out to clients, again, through our pictures, through our marketing process of the car. And then they would reach out to our specific store where the car's located, and we're happy to answer any questions. We offer third-party inspections, which we always highly recommend, just so that the client that's buying the car knows exactly what they're getting. We do our best to present the car in every aspect that we can. We're full disclosure too. We don't take different photos on a real high dollar car and lesser photos of a marginal car. We take the exact same pictures on every single car, no matter the price point, so that client knows exactly what they're getting. They can see the underneath of the car. They can see the car driving down the road. They can see the headliner. They can see the pedal on the gas. They can see everything that they want to see. And then if they want to come in and inspect it themselves, they are more than welcome. We're open to the public 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and also by appointment. So we try to make that as easy and convenient for our clients as well. And again, we're here to get the customer the right car. We want to sell cars, obviously, but we want to make sure our clients getting the car that they really want, and not just seeing something that looks cool, but then realizing, it's not going to really fit in my garage, or that's not going to work for our lifestyle. And that's one thing that we do offer that no one else in the industry offers, is a buyback guarantee. So you've got a time frame by the time the car gets delivered. If it doesn't fit in your garage, your wife doesn't like it, or you just don't like the color of it, you can give us a call back and we'll buy it back from you, no questions asked.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
Because sometimes wives aren't happy with what we purchase, right?
We get both, the wife or the husband. We're like, what did you just do? But that's the fun part of business, is that working either specifically with one client or their family buys car, and it's a fun experience. We're selling a want, not a need. So instead of the minivan or the Suburban or the pickup truck that you have to get back and forth to work or use for your job, we're selling something that someone's always wanted to have in their life, and they've either saved up for the past 5-6 years and finally can afford it, or they just stumble across something that they had when they were in high school or their buddy did, and brings back the memories, and they got to have it. So it's a fun experience, and it's kind of like Christmas every day here.
Yeah, I bet. It's easy to do when you have this many cars, different type of cars in here. Do you get people who contact you looking for a specific vehicle?
We do. We feel like our website is very easy to work with. You can search for a specific car, or if you got a price point that you want to bear in mind, we can do that. But yeah, we get a lot of people that are just browsing our site every day to see what's new and fresh and what we just got in. So that's kind of fun. We always have people looking for a specific car, and we have a newsletter that they can be part of. And when the car pops up on our website, they would be notified on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a better experience than, you know, like you said, going to an auction, you see it come across, you can look at it a little bit before. You know, I've been to a couple different auctions, and you just really can't check the car out like you could here. I mean, if I was interested in purchasing a car, you could probably put it on the hoist. You could do all kinds of things to make sure I can check it out.
That's the nice thing. And like I said, the third-party inspectors is very convenient. We've got a list of people that we've done business with, but anyone's welcome to bring in their own inspector. We've had people bring their brother in. We've had people bring in their local mechanic. They can have free reign to the car. They can take it for a test drive and get comfortable with it, so they know what they're getting involved with.
What's the most unusual vehicle that you've sold?
Oh man, we've had some really cool imports, from Land Rover that we've had some really crazy stuff. We've had some really highly modified resto mods that have come across that have been up in the $250,000 range. But the favorite car that we always say is the one that just sold.
Yeah, of course. Is there a car that sold the fastest?
We've had lots of cars that they get here and they're here for a couple hours and someone walks by, again, that we're open to the public, people can browse around and be like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I want. So before it even hits our website or before we even take pictures of it.
You even get it clean, it's gone.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
Anything else you want to share about what you do here?
Yeah, I mean, we're, like I said, a full-service consignment shop. Like I said, we got a store here in Grand Rapids, Traverse City, Detroit, and over in Indianapolis. And, we range anywhere from, in our Grand Rapids store is definitely our headquarters. We have, at any given time, 350-plus cars here in inventory. And then our other stores are very comparable. Traverse City is a little bit of a boutique center. It's about 50 cars, give or take. But our Detroit store and Indianapolis are slowly creeping up on our store here in Grand Rapids, so that's been fun. And again, we're just always looking for the fun car to sell. But we're also not limited to just the best and the most expensive. We love the everyday cars, the bread and butters type stuff. That's the market that most people can afford. And if you could give me a whole warehouse full of $25,000 to $35,000 cars, we love that, just because they appeal to so many different people, as opposed to the Ferraris and the Bentleys and the vintage vehicles that are in the $80,000 to $100,000 range. They're fun to look at and they're beautiful cars, don't get me wrong, but the market definitely is in that sweet spot.
And that makes sense. Most people who are looking for a classic car are looking for something that looks great, but can be driven, and they don't have to worry so much about it. They don't want most people don't want a $100,000 car. They just want that sweet spot that you're talking about in reliable, so they can get in, make sure they can go to the ice cream store with the grandkids or whatever. So
yeah, and that's the fun part, is that we get people that want every different thing. And like I said, something that they grew up with as a high schooler to, they got married in, to something that they find fun to pile in the grandkids and go down to get ice cream or go to the beach and just have a fun day.
Yeah, and I think when I checked last night, I think your lowest price car was around the $6,000 range, and I even saw a Pinto for $9,000. I was looking for the Pinto. I haven't found it yet.
It's back there.
But yeah, it's been a while since I've seen a Pinto, so that's cool. But you got trucks, you got vans, you got everything. We do, and we like to say we always got a big selection and a wide range of clients that are looking for that type of stuff. So it's fun to see that, and like I said, the everyday cars are exciting to sell because they just relate to so many people and have that fun attraction to them. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for a classic car, this is the place to come. Grand Rapids Auto Gallery. You can check them out on, what's your website? Yeah, it's grautogalery.com. Obviously all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter we follow, but we're always looking for better ways to get our name out there, so feel free to reach out to us. We're here 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Did you see anything that you liked at Grand Rapids Auto Gallery? There was too many to choose from for me. And if you get a chance, take a kid to one of the automotive history museums we have here in Michigan. Let's keep this car hobby alive. Until next time, keep your wheels spinning and your shine gleaming. ChatGPT told me to say that. What do you think? And I thought drinking coffee was gonna help. Maybe I should have stuck to something alcoholic. Hey, welcome to Speed and Shine.